NFL coaches, scouts, and GMs mobbed USC's practice field to get an in-person look at the Trojan star quarterback, Sam Darnold. Despite the conditions, Darnold drove the ball through the rain, hitting his targets with velocity and accuracy. Representatives from the NFL whispered amongst each other and to the media, how could this guy not go #1 to the Browns? 3 years later, the team that drafted Sam Darnold got rid of him. How did we get here? Is Sam Darnold a bust past the point of saving? Or has he been beaten down by his situation? Will he reclaim his former glory in Charlotte? Or confirm the doubters? Let's find out. If you want to burn fat, build lean muscle, and cut out more carbs from your diet, you know what you need. That's right, meat. But it's time to graduate from eating meat on styrofoam trays and consume the good stuff more responsibly. For that, there's Porter Road, your trusted online butcher shop that was started by Chris and James, who had a mission to fix the broken food system. And for the last 10 years, they've fine-tuned the process to build a more sustainable system for the planet without using added hormones or antibiotics. All this meat is dry aged and hand cut, and let me tell you, it's delicious. You can shop Porter Road just like you were at a butcher shop and choose curated bundles that always ship for free. There's no commitment, and you control the frequency. So after this video, head on over to porterroad.com/5points and get $20 off your first order of $100 or more. Again, that's porterroad.com/5points from the link below. PORTERROAD/5points, like the whole word, spelled out. Sam Darnold's grandfather is Dick Hammer, a former basketball player at USC who led the Trojans to a Final Four appearance in 1954. But Dick Hammer is better known as the Marlboro Man back in the 70s. Also, his name is Dick f***ing Hammer. Like his grandpa, Darnold had a star-like presence at San Clemente High School in Southern California, where he scored 52 total touchdowns during his senior season in 2014. Darnold was the prototypical surfer dude whose swept-back blonde hair and laid-back personality reflected the Southern California ethos that had molded him. He hadn't even played quarterback until midway through his sophomore season. In fact, he was a starting receiver and linebacker. But when San Clemente's #1 QB went down, Darnold stepped in and led a comeback victory to beat Tesoro High School. 2 years later, he was a 4-star recruit. Despite heavy national attention, Darnold chose to stay at home with the Trojans. The only problem was USC might not have wanted him to play quarterback. Cody Kessler and Max Brown were already on the squad. DC Justin Wilcox thought linebacker would be the easiest way for Darnold to see the field. But Sam said no, he would only play quarterback. He got his shot in 2016 in the first game of the season, only his team was not trailing by 7 to Tesoro High School. They were down 52-6 to the University of Alabama. The season may have started in embarrassing fashion for the Trojans, but all that mattered was where it ended up. And that was the Rose Bowl. Despite the 1-3 start to the year, Darnold had entered the lineup permanently by week 4 and reeled off 8 straight wins to end the year, plowing through the Pac-12 and finishing with a blowout of rival Notre Dame. Darnold had shown a knack for pinpoint accuracy both in the pocket and on the run. His escapability reminded scouts of Tony Romo. The 19-year-old threw for 26 touchdowns in a fraction of the season, leading the team to 37 points per game. And they would need more than 37 to beat Penn State in the Rose Bowl. Darnold led the Trojans in a remarkable record-breaking comeback, ending with a game-winning field goal. His future was as bright as the California sun. After that game, Darnold was declared the best quarterback prospect since 2012. The 2017 NFL season became a race to the bottom to earn the right to draft Darnold. Scam for Sam became the motto for lower-end teams. But Darnold wasn't the only quarterback in that class worthy of going #1. There was Heisman winner Lamar Jackson, rocket arm Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Oklahoma's gunslinger Baker Mayfield. The Cleveland Browns earned the #1 overall pick, again by losing every single one of their games, and they were in dire need of a quarterback. The The choice was theirs, and hopefully they didn't take a black sheep 90s hip-hop reference. Darnold was still the favorite to go first by the end of the college football season. In that rainy pro day, he seemed to have solidified that position, but a Jort-laden picture later, the Browns had talked themselves into Mayfield. That meant Darnold would fall to the second neediest team, the New York Jets, who had been wandering the quarterback desert for 40 years. The big city awaited. The promise was there in training camp and in the preseason, and his head coach showed it emphatically. But on his first play of his career, disaster struck. Darnold's career couldn't have started on a worse note, but the rookie quarterback and his team rebounded. The Jets beat the Lions 48-17 in Sam Darnold's debut. It helped that they were playing the Lions. The player they hoped would become their franchise quarterback had shown the ability to shake off a mistake that would cripple lesser quarterbacks. Not to mention, in his first action, Darnold showed off improved mechanics, better footwork, and a more compact release. It was a sign of good coaching and development. Under the leadership of Todd Bowles and the tutelage of OC Jeremy Bates, Darnold suffered ups and downs, but ultimately improved as the year went on. In Week 16, the 21-year-old went toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers, throwing 3 touchdowns as the Jets fell 38-44 to the Green Bay Packers. But as soon as the clock struck midnight on his rookie season, all that momentum came to a screeching halt. The Jets pulled the plug on the Todd Bowles era after a 4-12 season. Darnold was dejected. A popular coach was gone, and he was about to be replaced by... Enter Adam Gase, the head coach who failed his way out of Miami and into a job with the New York Jets. Like his expression at his debut press conference, things would get both awkward and ugly. Armed with new uniforms and a new running back in Le'Veon Bell, who was supposed to take the pressure off of Darnold, the Jets blew a 16-0 lead in the 2019 season opener to the Bills. With a chance to right the ship, the Jets were about to take the Monday night stage against the Cleveland Browns in Week 2. Only Sam Darnold wouldn't be there. Shout out to Mono. The second-year QB had caught the kissing disease, and he would have to miss the team's next 3 games. The 0-4 Jets upset Dallas. The team was clearly better with him in the lineup, and Darnold was building confidence.
Seeing ghosts.
Sam Darnold had been hung out to dry during the worst game of his sophomore season, maybe of his career. The Jets had been shut out by the Patriots. Darnold tossed 4 interceptions, and ESPN and their Zoom lens had shared one of his lowest moments with the entire viewing public. The seeing ghosts comment was the most popular point of discussion on all the shows, and in a market as ruthless as New York's, you could never live that down. While Darnold was chilling with Casper, something remarkable was happening south of the Mason-Dixon line. The Tennessee Titans had benched their quarterback, Marcus Mariota, and replaced him with Ryan Tannehill, who had spent the last 3 seasons under Adam Gase. We'll circle back to that. This is foreshadowing. It didn't matter that Darnold finished the 2019 season with a 6-2 record in his last 8 games, or that he did it with the 28th ranked offensive line per PFF, or with minimal contributions from Le'Veon Bell, or that his receivers had the 7th highest drop percentage in the league. The media had already sunk their teeth into Darnold, except in 2020, he was about to prove them right. The Jets spent the offseason getting worse. Le'Veon Bell was cut, and the team had replaced him with Frank Gore. Robbie Anderson left for Carolina. C.J. Mosley opted out. And despite drafting Mekhi Becton, the Jets' offensive line got worse. Darnold faced pressure in under 2.5 seconds on 28% of his dropbacks. He may have been seeing ghosts, but he was also seeing free rushers in his face. The New York media had gone from bashing Darnold to actively rooting for the Jets' implosion so that they could secure the number 1 overall pick. Despite their best efforts, the Jets won 2 games to end the season, taking themselves out of the running to draft number 1 in a QB-heavy draft. Rather than letting him compete with a rookie, the Jets shipped Darnold off to the Panthers, and in answering whether he'd be in New York or not, brought about many other questions. We have all the data to deliver a verdict of bust or not, so here's what I think. Sam Darnold is not a case of a perfect player ruined by an inept organization. His career completion percentage is sub 60. He's turned the ball over 59 times in his 3 NFL seasons. He has shown one thing for certain, and it's that he can't transcend a bad situation. He's not Andrew Luck, winning in spite of the Colts. He's not good enough to drag a bad team to the playoffs like Peyton Manning, John Elway, or Aaron Rodgers. He's also not Ryan Tannehill, as much as many might suggest. Am I not so subtle foreshadowing earlier alluded to? Before Adam Gase joined the Dolphins, Tannehill put together 3 seasons where he totaled 75 touchdown passes and 41 interceptions despite being sacked an outrageous 49.7 times per season, a higher sack per dropback ratio than Darnold has faced during his career. Tannehill is not an apt comparison because before being saddled with Adam Gase, he showed statistical growth and progress in Miami. When Tannehill took a major leap in Tennessee, it was a natural progression from where he was headed post-2015. Darnold has not yet shown that baseline competence without Gase, but he has had to deal with something Tannehill has not. Unlike Rodgers, Elway, or Manning, Darnold's struggles were greatly amplified in sports' biggest market, where his every move was literal clickbait. Few are able to shrug off the immense pressure the Big Apple provides. For a surfer dude from Southern Cal, it was not the right match. Darnold will reunite with Robbie Anderson and join forces with DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey. There are no excuses left, no mulligans, no more bad situations to fall back on. Sam Darnold is a bust, at least until proven otherwise. The clouds have lifted. It's time for Darnold to either shine or go back into the dark. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to subscribe for more interesting videos on sports. And also, I have a second channel called Adam Jackson, which I will put a link in the description below. That channel will cover strictly the NFL. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to my next video.